Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. So Teri Dean, the onboard TCRS investigator, went to Prosser and she had a fascinating discussion with the camp host on location. You can actually hear, you get a really good sense of the atmosphere while Teri is speaking to him. It is a, I think, 38-minute interview, so I'm not going to take it any further than that. I'm going to hand over to Teri, and you're going to be able to listen to the audio, listen to what he says about things like hearing sounds and should people who were there, should they have been able to see something. But before we get started with that audio, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do like, share, leave a comment. Bear in mind there will be a live later today dealing with the intertextualities, pretty startling stuff, pretty interesting stuff in the Fuentes case. Jaleesa Fuentes has been found. We're going to look at some of the footage around that, but more importantly, we're going to examine the intertextualities between that case and the Kylie Rodney case. Going to be pretty interesting, pretty illuminating. So look out for that a little bit later. I'll put a link to that in the description, but it'll also appear at the end of this video. And so without any further ado, let's get started.
And then I know there's a big bottom out place, and you go past that, it levels out. And right where it levels out is where this is at.
Oh.
It's not all that far away.
Yeah, no.
You know, so I don't understand.
I walked up there, because, yeah, there is one spot.
But you see that would have been, the music would have came from over there. Mm-hmm. It comes from over there.
Right.
You know, because like I said, I've heard people walking in the night, when it's nice and quiet, right?
Yeah,
1
so
o'clock,
quiet.
Thinking, oh, please shut up when you come back at 1:30,
Right.
so I don't have to go out there. Because now I'm not sleeping, listening to the noise.
Sure.
Whether out there, I have no control of that. That's not my business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not patrolled out there.
And the police, they're supposed to patrol it.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they would have, and they're under contract, if they would have just be out here Fridays and Saturdays between 10 and 11, that would have never happened. Maybe it happened someplace else, because I'm sure if these kids are used to having their parties every Friday night,
Yeah.
like they had been, they would have found another place, but that would have maybe changed the whole dynamics of who's coming and who's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And it might have either prevented it or prolonged it from happening. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, I hear a lot of people say, why don't they just put signs out there? Water's at... There's no signs out here. It's not supposed to be vehicles out there. It's for off-roading, so it's...
Yeah, but people go with their pickups and stuff. And then these are a lot of local kids, right, that have been coming up to these mountains, from what I understand, all the time, right?
Yeah.
But even, like I said, the angle of the sound, and I'm pretty good at sorting out sounds. I've been backpacking and camping all my life. And, you know, especially when you're out in the middle of no place backpacking, you get really in tune with the sounds around you. Heck, it could be nice and sunny and I could smell a storm coming, the moisture. I thought, oh, we better get ready, because in a few hours it's going to start raining. And people say, oh, you're nuts, it's clear. I go, yeah, it's coming. And sure enough, 2 to 3 hours later, here comes a storm. But
that's being in tune to nature, for sure.
So I got really good at that. I'm a little rusty at it, but still the sounds. And
You don't think you would have heard a vehicle splash from here? Huh? We're just too
I don't see how it would splash unless it was up high and then it drove off and went flying and then hit the water. But I don't think there's anything like that.
No,
I think it would have been
really off that main point. It is a pretty good slope. I mean, the water's way down now, but it's still, once you leave that point, it's about...
She would have just, if she was that drunk, like her friend said, and she didn't turn left to come back on the road and stayed on that, and then turn around, turn thinking, is this the way out? And then boom, there's the water.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have hit it hard. She would have been driving, first of all, slow. There's no way she could have been driving fast.
That's what I think too.
But what I don't understand Yeah, we wouldn't have heard the splash from up here. But weren't there 100 to 300 kids at this party? And
Yeah.
nobody there saw her lights. Her friend didn't
Right.
see her drive off and, and say, oh shit, she just drove into the lake.
Yeah, well, they
Especially-
just released a fight. They have a fire cam on the Alder Hill,
Oh, good.
and they actually captured that. You can see her lights go off and go into the water. You can see other
Yeah.
people's headlights. It's amazing. I don't know.
Oh, wow. That would be.
I don't know why
where did-
that, because you said you talked to the FBI. I don't know why they didn't think to look at fire cams around
No,
here.
so it was probably the FBI, or it would have been that group that they hired at the end, that group that did find her.
Oh yeah.
They might have been the ones to suggest check the fire cams, because Nevada State or County Police, whatever, they were out here for a whole week. They had search parties
Yeah, I was out
from
here once.
different counties. They had the FBI come through here, and so they went through that for a whole week. They were on the lake for a whole week.
I talked to
And
some
they
people
didn't
from the
find
fire,
nothing.
fire volunteers with boats and all of that.
And nobody found anything because, I think there was a point. Remember in the beginning they were saying they were starting to treat it as a possible abduction?
Yes.
I think they stopped looking for her car,
Yeah.
and
I think they
started
thought
looking.
they looked hard enough for it.
Well, I think they were looking for a body
Yeah.
that might have been dumped here and forgot about the car and said, well, if the car's not here, it's most likely an abduction.
Yeah.
But let's go look around here and go through the motions.
Yeah.
Because they never did put out an Amber Alert, which I thought was really bad because it didn't fit the criteria. It's a goddamn kid, man.
I know. So
Put
many
it out. you know
so
what I
many
mean?
parents say that too.
You
Is
know,
why
it's like ridiculous.
I know a lot.
You know.
There's a lot of time. Anytime a kid goes missing, you want to just why not just do it now? Like
Well,
it's
what's
not
this?
not going to bother anybody
Well,
to get an
what
alert on their phone
the-
and keep an eye out.
the- The kid's
I
a
hear
year
ya.
too old or a year too young to put it on Amber, or it didn't happen. No,
I
it's
know.
a kid that's missing. Pull out all the stops. I would for
Yeah.
any of my kids or my grandkids,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah, well, for what we heard, it's just somebody on YouTube found that camera and found the footage. It wasn't the police. This just came out maybe 4 days ago
oh,
now.
no kidding! It was that's
So I mean, if they'd had that 2 months ago, they could just dispel all the rumors that are out there that other horrible things happened to her.
I know.
Because you can clearly see her lights go down, and there are some other vehicles leaving, but just not at that exact time.
Yeah, and so nobody out of 100 to 300 kids and vehicles didn't see her go into the lake.
Yeah, it looked like there was a few around that same time. Like maybe they came out of the sanctuary and took that right to come down further by the water and maybe party some more down on that side. Then she wanted to leave and realized, oh, this isn't the way out. These people I were following are going to the other party spot. So then she went to the isthmus to
at
turn around.
night, when I'm even this go-kart doesn't have lights. The other one has lights, right? The electric one I was using. But when I would go like to this end and I'd come back this way at night, I would wind up going straight into one of these parking places, thinking, oh shit, and having to back up.
It's disorienting, isn't
yeah,
it? It's
at
like
night.
a vortex out here.
So, but if I stay going that way, then it's easy to stay on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But coming back this way, all the little branches out, the
Sure.
spurs. And I'm wondering, and I wasn't drunk when I do that,
Right.
So I'm thinking, gee, somebody drunk,
Or
sure.
only been driving for a very short time, too.
So I'm thinking, no, I just don't understand why anybody at that party didn't see that happen, because they're there.
Yeah.
We're up how high are we up from the lake? Think about it.
Yeah, we're pretty high up. I mean, it's a
go-
steep hike down there from here.
Yeah, you don't. Actually, in reality, if somebody was up at the edge there and she went down, they would have maybe heard a splash. If she just drove in going slow, there wouldn't have been no splash. Think about it. You know, unless it was, oh shit, drop, splash. Oh, I'm on the dirt road. It's like, oh shit, too steep, too late to put on the brakes or try to put on the brakes, but you're in the water.
I think it happened that down. She hit that slope, and there was just it happened too fast. There just wasn't time.
Yeah, but why didn't anybody, unless the people that did see her were the people that supplied the drugs and the alcohol, and says, no, I'm not getting involved with this, and everybody got around and left her.
That's some of the rumors too, but the camera clearly shows a few. I mean, we're not all 300 people left at the same time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So there were a few cars behind her, but it could look like, oh, she's just going to the water. Whoever's in that car, they don't know. It could be a car full of kids pulling off down there.
Nobody saw that. I mean, we could speculate up here. Why did we hear a splash? Why did we see the lights? But just look across here and then go to the edge.
Yeah.
And then see if you could even see from this side where she went in. I'm not sure. People have told me there's a point out in here in that area. People have showed me. People that were on the lake the day they found her. They were out paddleboards.
Oh, yeah.
They were saying it was over there.
Okay.
Because this gal was like from here to your truck, she said. When she saw the diver go in and then come up and say,
I think I might be
he
getting
got
it
it.
now.
And then
Entry
they were
point
telling everybody now if it was in the water, get out.
Yeah.
And they locked it up again.
There's a vehicle on the other side of the
So
water there.
that was over there, but
Panning to the right.
you know, I gave the FBI the docket of everybody that was here, and like I said, there were 2 no-shows out of the 28 campsites. Right, 29 with me. Okay. One of them I filled, and the other one, the guy on this side, he had a lot of friends come over. They were all in their mid-30s to early 40s. They had a bunch of people come and stay the weekend, right? That Friday, Saturday. And they were really good. Came 10 o'clock, they got quiet. They were all asleep. They had toddlers and stuff too, right?
Too far behind. I don't think that footage was
because I already had told my boss
behind the peninsula,
on Sunday when I heard about it, shouldn't you give the docket? You know, because I don't know if it was Sunday or Monday when I heard about the party was here from some campers, and I thought, okay, they've got to clear this up because
does that sound right to you?
Where you know not to look,
can
save you time, so you could be looking someplace else.
Yeah, well, that first night, I should have asked you the very first day I was here because I thought they said the party was here at Foster Family Campground. So I mean, I was looking all through the woods. You're like, no, it's over there.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's no way you couldn't park cars here. I mean, you've got designated spots. Only one vehicle.
The one
per
site
spot.
that I didn't fill, I let this guy that was over here with his wife and friends. They parked about 5 cars in that one spot.
Gotcha.
All right.
And
so like I said,
it was pretty full then.
Yeah, and everybody, so if there was, it was all full but one side.
Okay.
And so I saw the FBI and because I already tried to tell my boss, give him this information because this, there's not just, you could verify that it wasn't here, but somebody in hindsight, because I had people coming in past midnight, a few people, they might have seen something.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that caravan of cars leaving or something at 1 a.m.
Well, that fire cam definitely shows someone coming from this area right at 12:30 going that way. So people ask, could they have heard something? So I thought, well, I'm going to ask Richard when I'm up there, is it possible to hear a splash?
From here, no. If
That's
somebody
what I
was
thought.
at the point on the other side of the road where they were in visual view, they might have heard of a splash, but a car driving into the lake is no different than getting your boat off the trailer and putting it in the water. Do you hear a splash?
Good point.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I've done a lot of fishing in my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't make a noise.
Yeah.
It's the quiet here at night that really has stood out to me. I mean, if we can hear the highway
Well,
5
minus
miles
all
away.
the music, you see. You have
Yeah.
to remember, too, there was blaring music
Yeah, you said
on that night.
the FBI said they had generators that night?
Generators and lights.
Wow.
And like I said, if it would have been, I'm pretty sure if they would have had generators and lights that bright, I would have saw lights. I might not have heard the generators, but I would have seen the lights because I've seen people with their flashlights way in the fuck over there
Yeah.
at night bringing Taz out for that last piss or something, you know. So I don't have to get out early in the morning to get them
Right.
out
Sure.
when it's colder. And I've seen people with their little flashlights and stuff way out there.
Yeah.
You know, and generators with lights, and they would have had big lights, not any lights. I would have seen a glow coming from there.
Yeah.
Just like I can see from across the campground a small little campfire glowing at the other end over there at 19 or 20 campsite.
Yeah.
But I never saw any lights. I'm still wondering. I don't see how they could. From what I understand, that place isn't that big to hold 300 kids. I don't even think it could hold 100 because think about all the vehicles it would be. You would have at least 50 cars,
Yeah.
right?
Well, not that many people are going to drive their vehicles up that rough road. I'll be honest with you. If
Yeah.
they're taking mom and dad's car, they're not taking a Ford Taurus
What
up
did
those.
she have?
She had a Honda SUV.
Okay, so all right, that might have made it.
Yeah,
huh?
an SUV.
The
Yeah, it's
SUV
little,
Honda.
Yeah, a little bit more
Yeah.
clearance on one of those CRVs.
But see, I still can't figure out where would 50 to 100 cars be?
I think they were dispersed. I think there were some up at the top and some down. You know where it's not an island, but it is an island with
Yeah.
that tree. If you go around that bend,
Okay, I haven't been around that area. I've walked down when I
because
first
there's
came in
a
here.
trail that connects those two party spots. It's pretty steep. You wouldn't want to take a vehicle on it, but you could definitely walk up and down. So I think
Up
they
and down.
parked all over down, up on top and down around the bend.
I know one person told me it wasn't that incident. They were on 89 and coming. All suddenly these 3 cars come right behind her, right behind them, real close. And then when they turned to come here, the cars turned. They got a little paranoid, they said, actually. But then 3 cars real close together turned off on that dirt road and shot down it. But they were cars, they said. They weren't SUVs. And that was on a Friday night.
Yep.
It was another time. Like I said, it's been going on for months.
Yeah. All
And-
summer long, you said before.
Yeah. And then
basically
the
every Friday
ranger
and Saturday.
told me for the past 4 years. And then the ranger threw in, yeah, we can't find out who's doing it. And I almost told him, well, of course you're not going to find out. You guys all go home at 5 to 6. And the
Yeah.
police don't come out here and patrol. So I don't even understand why he made the comment. Well, we haven't
Yeah.
been able to catch who's doing that. Well,
You got to go out there when they're there.
you guys either have to get some overtime in or you have to get the police to hold up to their contract
Yeah.
and get their asses out here to start patrolling. And I still haven't seen any police since this all happened and it's blown over. I don't see the police coming up here patrolling yet. And I don't think they ever plan to. I think they plan to keep getting the federal funding,
It's hard to tell scale on
Yes.
video.
but find
My foot, but
101
these are-
reasons not to
these
come
are
up
really
here.
deep
'Cause
Yeah.
cuts right
my
here.
experience with them was really like,
And over here.
frustrating.
So like when I
you
came
know,
through,
first I call the Rangers thinking there might be somebody on call. No.
it's really hard to tell how deep
So I
they
called
are.
the sheriff
Just
like they
about
told me to do, and it was
mean,
just a bunch of excuses. And at
these are
the end,
deep.
nobody showed up.
There's my hand.
You're on
know.
your own out here.
So, and that was kind of like put a.
Getting it very good.
My stomach felt like it was empty. You know,
right
it was
on
like
these ridges.
I didn't sign up for this. I signed up to be a
wanna
campground
get
host to
caught
help people
in
make them
there.
feel comfortable.
I
Just all
took
the
it up
things I
over
liked
on
when
this
I
side.
camped.
Yeah.
And
Around to the right.
And the real definition of security
And
is observe and report.
Yeah.
Unless
I think
you've
it was
been
Sharon
trained with
Butler that was running
sidearms
more of
and
a
batons and all that. And
road,
I've had
too.
that training and I could do it, but
It's pretty
I
good
didn't
right here. There's,
come up here to do that.
obviously,
came
I
up here
stayed to the right. There's a nice
enjoy myself,
flat
enjoy
spot.
the people I've met, you know.
You want to avoid that. Of course, every time
So
I've been
that,
here, it's
oh
been
shit,
dry.
come after 6,
But
basically.
I mean, these
I'm
things
gonna
are
have
all
to
over the
be-
place. And
Get a little tougher if I need to.
Yeah.
can
Well, I
get the
mean,
scale.
you gotta
Yeah.
be careful who you run
I mean,
into
that's-
out here too. I guess I'd
my hand's kind of
make
getting
sure you
lost in
you don't
there.
have a firearm or
deep.
something.
I have a 22 and a 20 gauge, so
Well, that's enough
you made
to
it
scare
past that
someone
part.
away. And
it's enough to
see
do
where
more
my
than
truck
that.
is.
But God forbid, right?
right.
It's a little
Like I
bumpy,
said, I didn't come up
but
here to
this
get in
is the
fights or to argue with anybody.
wider
You got to
Or-
protect yourself though. And
But yeah, well, it's
path
like
of road.
when I see people
You know,
starting
if
to
you
mess
don't
with
remember
me,
the nuances
I very
coming
calmly
in,
tell them, I don't
it would
attack,
make sense to think
but I do
that
defend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't
the
go
road
around
would
irritating
improve
people and
before
fucking
you
with them like
get
they're
to the
doing, say.
yeah.
main
But-
paved road.
I will be a point where I'll say stop. And then we're going to, well, it won't be me having the problem. Maybe after,
Right.
but I, like I said, I came up here for the peacefulness and the people and
Well, it suits you well,
Yeah.
and I really wish you and George and Taz and I forgot your kitty's name.
well, Sissy.
Sissy. I really wish
Sissy
you guys the
Taz.
best. You know, you'll be going to Reno next, huh?
Yeah, in about a week.
Okay.
I already.
You
they
got some
already
cleanup
text
stuff
me
to do here.
The address. Yeah, well, I want to clean all my fire pits out
Yeah.
between later on today, when everybody goes. Unlock the gate. I'm gonna go check out the fire pits that are the worst, and then check which tables are gonna need to be painted. But I want to clean out the fire pits because I want to throw it in the dumpster. You throw all the ash and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because they're picking it up for the last time tomorrow.
Oh, gotcha.
Tomorrow morning about 10. So I want to have all the fire pits cleaned and then go check for little paper and shit that might be left behind.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this gal left a whole bunch of shit in a bucket over there.
Oh, great.
Well, some of it looks like some nice tarps and stuff.
Oh.
So I,
See what you can scalve it.
yeah, and there was a nice little chair. Looked more, it was more comfortable than the Wally World ones I bought. The cheapies,
The
right?
cheapies, yeah.
You know.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you
Same here.
every time I've been out here. So
But need to get more facts about what happened. I always try
that's
to look,
part of why I'm here. I'm kind of walking the paths and trying to
Yeah, but-
recreate
but-
some things.
but walk around. Did you walk over to this area where they say she went down and see what you can see? You know,
It drops off pretty quick. I know that. I'm thinking if there were other cars on that didn't make the wrong turn, maybe did see that she had taken a wrong turn, but once your headlights would go down that slope, I think they might just think the headlights were turned off.
well, one time when I was a kid, me and my friends, we decided to go to the Coast Highway.
Oh yeah.
And the rain was coming down, right? And I just, what was it? Not a Pinto. Anyway, we're going, and I'm going like 60 miles an hour on the highway, Coast Highway.
Yeah, the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I hit some water.
Ooh,
a pool of
hydroplane.
water. Well, it was really weird because hydroplaned. My front bumper made a big wave in front of the car,
Whoa.
and the lights lit it all up. There was a big wall in front of me, lit up
Wow.
water, and then just kept going, and then stopped, and then ding, 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 ding.
And just settled down.
Settled down about. If you opened the door, water would have came in.
Wow.
Real easy. It was already leaking in, and luckily, that little car started up again and got out of there.
I see
But-
what you're saying though. That water, with the lights refracting off of it, makes
Yeah.
like a white wall.
So when she hit the water, especially if she rolled into it, I don't think you would have heard a splash. Just like putting your boat in the dock. You know, you don't hear a splash when you roll that trailer in there, and that's a good angle. Is
Yeah.
that angle where she went down equal to the angle of the dock, or a little steeper?
Steeper.
A little steeper.
Yep.
Then she would have hit the water, and there would have been a splash, and that should have lit up. That should have lit up good, just like my car did on that rainy night.
And and the way you're describing that fire camera, exactly. All of a sudden it was like because it's at dark, obviously.
Of course,
so
it's
you're
pitch
just
black out there.
You're just seeing headlights, but they did an overlay with a daytime picture, so you could still kind of see where the
okay.
peninsula was, and then all of a sudden there's this big circle flash.
That was when she hit the water.
Yep.
And that would have been pushing the water up like I
It's
did
so
with my car.
sad. You
I'm
just
now back
see the
on the
light
upper
get dimmer
road.
and then just go out. I mean, within a matter of 45 seconds, it
I'm going
sank.
to show what that portion
I mean,
looked like
in that
when-
time, she would have just been
And
terrified.
nobody that was actually down there saw anything.
I
Now
think
that I find hard to believe.
You and a lot of other people.
Not seeing or hearing something from up here,
really did take.
understandable. You know, even with what I figure, what we had,
So
all
this is-
28,
that's all that there
29,
is of the upper
27
road.
sites full. We had probably about
This is
150 people at the most.
This is the
And-
road
and
that
nobody
Tyler
heard
took,
that
but
here?
Obviously from the other direction. Now, I'm going back
If one
down
person
here
would have heard it, they
because
would have
I
told me
want
about
to
it.
park
Yeah.
my
You know, or they
truck
would have come by and let
at
me
the
know,
point
right? Well, I heard that
and
splash.
see
But nobody
how
up
much
here
of
heard
that
it.
is
And that
visible
happened after midnight
from
sometime,
the-
right?
from the
Yeah,
road I just
12:30.
came off.
Yeah,
35.
see? And that's when everything was quiet here.
Yeah, it's super quiet.
So why none of my other campers told me they heard a splash, you know, or anything other than the noise, the music from
Yeah.
over there. So it rolled in, or
Yeah.
they would have heard it. But I still haven't they found out who was at that fucking party and really grilling because
They really haven't disclosed. I mean, I'm
Well,
assuming
that's-
they've done a lot of interviews, but I guess I choose to, I like to think better of people. I really feel that if someone saw her turn down there and the lights go out, they just thought someone pulled off to maybe party more, use the bathroom, whatnot.
Yeah, but what
and
you're
turn the lights
describing,
off.
what you saw in the video, doesn't sound like somebody parking their car. And
Yeah,
nobody
She definitely wasn't parking
from
her
the
car.
people that were leaving. I'm sure if there were lights in front of her, there had to have been lights behind her. People partying still on the beach at that
Yeah,
time.
not everybody left at once. There were still people there.
Nobody from over there saw anything.
It's
Now
just,
that,
it's just kind of hidden. You know, once you go down that hill,
yeah, but nobody.
I get what you're
Well,
saying.
if it's kind of hidden from the beach, what is it from here then? Have you gone to the edge there and tried to see where the car went down?
Oh yeah, you can see it clear as day from here because we're up so much higher. See,
you
there-
mean when you're across the road and you hike over to the edge, you can
Yes.
see it.
Yep.
But no, you can't see it from here.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
You know,
Not this exact.
and nobody
spot.
heard anything from here.
Yeah.
You know, they would have told me.
I think anyone
You know.
that saw would have seen her turn down there did not. If they saw her go into the water, I would like to believe that even if they are young kids drinking and they know that they're breaking the law, they're not just going to say, "Well, somebody could be dying. Let's keep going." I just I like to think better of people.
Not a lot of rich kids that have something to lose or be in trouble for what they're doing. No, their ass comes first before other people. Unfortunately, there's some very bad people in the world.
Yes.
You know, I grew up in LA, East LA especially. It wasn't easy. And I like to think the better of people. That's why I'm up here. Just about 99% of the people I met have been great. I've met new friends and people have been respectful and polite and nice to me, you know, and it's a good feel considering I was stuck with two drunks for 2 years before I got up here.
Right.
But you know, there is a lot of good in the world, but there's, you know, it's sort of a 50-50 thing in the world,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's you can't have good without bad, unfortunately. If you believe in good and God, then you have to believe in evil and the devil. A lot of people want to believe in God, but they don't want to believe in the devil. You know, but you'll pray to a spirit you can't see, but you just want to say, oh, evil is just a metaphor for bad people. No, if you believe in God and you're praying to a God and a Christ, then if you don't believe in the devil, then there's something wrong with the religious beliefs, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't have the yin without the yang, so to say, even in Chinese
That's true.
culture.
That's true.
So yes, you know, I want to believe in the best of people. But that's why I'm away from the city people and the drunks, so I could come up here and be with good people, right? And take a breath. I mean, it's the 4 months here overshadows the bullshit I've been through since I got to California.
Yeah.
You know, and it's because there's a point there where it's like, are there any good people in this world?
There sure are.
You know, and then I came up here, and in 4 months I've met more good people than I have in the past 5 years.
Oh, that's great.
I've
to
met
hear.
here in the past 4 months. You know, I mean, it's been great, and that's why I want to come back because of the people. And the job's not hard. Physically, I can handle it. You know, not a lot of picking up stuff.
And Taz likes it out here
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He gets to
And
visit
even-
all the squirrels.
And even Sissy likes it. You know, she gets
Yeah.
out, she hangs around, and she wanders off into the woods for a little bit. But you know, I'm glad I'm out here. But I try to get as many facts as you can. I know because I'm into herbal medicine. Somebody told me, just because you pick up a book on herbs, you know, see who the author is. If it says written by authoritative authors, well, who are the authors? You know, that's a really vague statement. In other words, somebody could have read a bunch of other books and just rewrote it and threw it in there and doesn't really know shit about herbs.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of herb books out there like that. So they told me, see who the author is, do research on the author, and if they've been doing their research, they're not just copying off other books, then those are the books you want to read on herbs. And I found that to be true on anything you want to find out. Find out from the experts of what's going on. And the hard part, the further we get away from the truth, the further we get away from it.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you been to the Berkeley Botanical Gardens?
No, I haven't.
You really should. They
That
have
would
they
be
have a
nice.
whole area all on Chinese
Oh, really?
medicine. Yes, every little twig plant. It's amazing. They've got recipes, all ancient.
I have.
You would love it. It's
One of my
very
books-
rare, very
yeah.
rare to have that collection.
Oh,
of,
heck yeah, because I have a book called The Barefoot Doctor. And what it is, it's like the paramedic manual or the physician's assistant manual. They get a young couple from these paddy fields hundreds of miles backcountry where there are no doctors or anything, unless you throw somebody on a motorcycle or car and drive them 100, 200 miles, right? So they train a young couple to be responsible for their village. And they take them and they teach them Western medicine and folklore, you know, all the way from acupuncture to acupressure to herbal medicine to using nutritional, even how to, it's called the 5 taste or the 4 taste. You can get a plant, and if it's peppery or pogent or sweet,
I just wanted to show the road.
that's
a little
already
bit
telling
closer
you
when,
basically
Kylie
what the
would have
properties,
taken
the healing
a
properties
left.
of that plant is.
It's,
You know,
it's hard to tell.
and they teach them
scale
how
on
to.
video.
So if you can't find a
My
plant
foot, but,
in
I
the
mean, these
from the
are-
book,
These are
you
really
know,
deep ruts
then
right
go
here.
and do the taste test. You know,
over here. So like when I
and then
came
you
through,
could discover other plants. You know, like they're doing in
it's
the
really
rainforest
hard
all
to
the
tell how
time.
deep they are.
But so that's a really nice
mean,
book. But the herbs in
these are
it
deep.
are really hard to find
my hand.
because they have a lot of the Chinese herbs.
Well, that's what I
So
was saying about the botanical gardens. Even
at Berkeley, huh?
yeah, I mean you can't pick them per se, but it's neat to see that they
No.
are growing somewhere and
Right
they're
on
working
these
on
ridges.
propagating and
Yeah, but it'd be
things like
good
that.
to actually
Don't
get
wanna
a
get
good
caught
visual on
in
those.
there.
And
I
then,
took it up over on this side.
because the book's really explicit on how to
And
use
to
the
the
plants.
right.
That's one thing I like about it. It's
And
just
it's-
hard to find the plants.
Yeah.
Unless I
think
went
it
to
was
like
Sharon Butler that
Chinatown
was
in
wanting
LA
more
or
of
in
close
San
up of the road,
Francisco
too.
and found a
So it's-
Chinese
it's
herbal,
pretty good right here.
you know,
There's-
health food store.
yeah,
so to
they
speak.
give you
Stayed
a
to the
free
right, there's
handbook when you
nice
go through there that describes every herb and what
spot.
it's good for.
See, I would love to get that for free, considering what I paid for the book.
Every time I've been
Exactly.
here,
But
it's
I've
been
had the
dry.
book a long time. It shows you how to diagnose, how to treat,
I mean, these
and all
things
the way
are all
from
over the
using
place.
penicillin to golden seal, you know,
can get the
and the
scale.
Chinese herbs. So it's a really good
I mean,
book.
that's-
It's my,
My hand's kind of getting
every time I
lost in
took a
there.
road trip, that's one of the
They're
books that
deep.
went with me, right?
Excellent.
along, and then
She made it
some
past
other
that spot.
herbal books, right?
You can see where my truck is.
Yeah,
like,
there's a half a dozen herb books I like.
it's a
That
little bumpy.
I don't leave
but
home
this
without
is
them,
the-
so to say.
Excellent.
Anyway, I better let you go.
Yeah, I better get packed up. You want to be
Smoothest
locking up the gate here in
Oh my God.
just a little bit. So
An hour
You know,
and
if you don't
14
remember the
minutes.
nuances
okay, I get
coming in,
my pack up will go quick. I
Oh,
promise.
I'm not
sense
too
to
worried
think
about
that
That's a nice tent.
the road
You
would
know,
improve
thank you.
before
I've always
you
liked the marmot
get to
tents.
the-
Yeah.
That one's
Green
newer,
paved
but the
road?
one I had before that lasted 18, 19 years
Yeah.
in winters and every season. But it worked really well even in winter in Alaska. I camped out for a couple weeks in that. And it finally got a few of the poles were getting bent, and you can order new ones, but I thought, you know what? It's time for
You
new
had it
ones.
that many years, yeah.
So maybe I'll have that one for another 20.
Oh yeah, they've always made good products. You know, pricey but worth it.
Yeah, well, I bought it off season, so I got it half off. Not bad.
That you're kind of like how I shop.
Yep.
I'll wait for the specials to come out, that I could get something nice at a reasonable price.
I want the
but-
nice things, but I don't want to pay full price. Isn't that? But
Yeah.
this thing sets up so easy by yourself.
Yeah.
The poles are all connected. You clip them in the front, put them in the corner. That's it. I mean, there's no going through sleeves of things and battling like this.
Oh yeah.
I can put that whole thing up by myself in less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's what
That's
I like
nice.
about it, because I don't have to depend on anybody else to come camping with me.
Yeah.
I
And
can
it's like a partial dome, so you have the walls come up, so you have more space.
Yep.
Than if it was a full dome.
and it
So-
has full open doors on both sides.
Oh, see, that's nice, especially on those hot nights.
Yes.
You know, you could have that breeze coming
Yep.
through.
The vestibule in full open on both zippers on both sides, and the whole top is open too.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, if it didn't get so chilly last night, I would have left it open so I could watch the stars through the trees. But
And the rain flight goes down. Some of them come up too high,
yes,
and some go too low, and then you don't get any air circulation, and then you get that condensation.
yes, it came with the footprint thing that goes in it too to keep it moisture off the bottom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really happy with it. I paid about $240 for
wow.
that,
That's good. It would have cost a lot more.
and it's light. It's like 3 pounds, so you could
Wow.
take it backpacking too. So,
Yeah.
hope to have that one for a while.
I found me a pound, little over a pound. It's a one person.
Nice.
And got a good deal. It was like about $150 from this company called Nature's Hike. It's a Chinese company.
Oh, okay.
It's where I got my sleeping bag and a bunch of other crap from them. And they have good prices and good stuff.
Yep.
You know, you could look on YouTube and everybody's evaluating everything.
Yeah.
And when they went to evaluate that little tent I had, the only thing the guy could complain about was when they go to sew the seams, usually you trim the little bit that's hanging.
Yeah.
Those weren't trimmed. And he goes, well, this is really this is not acceptable. Paid $150 for a tent that would have probably cost over $300 because I bought that tent. And it sets up easy.
That's
it's
great.
light. It's a single wall tent. You
Yeah.
know, so you don't want to be in humid
Yeah.
areas. But the vestibule, it's really cool. You get your walking stick and you hook it up and it turns into an awning. So if the weather was bad, you could still cook your food underneath
Oh,
it
that's neat.
and still be right there by your tent.
Yeah, and to have it be that lightweight, that's what you need for backpacking.
Yeah,
A pound
yeah.
makes a really big difference when you're having
Well,
to
that's
put...
the way I've been for years getting stuff lighter.
Yeah.
So, because I do want to backpack again.
Traveling
but I
light.
have to worry about my back.
Yeah, I hear that. I got some back issues too.
I have to take
Richard, it was a
care of-
pleasure, and I look forward to, I hope I get to see you next
I'll be
May.
here next year.
You will? Okay, good.
Yeah, there's, please God, it would have to be an act of God for me not to come back. So please God, help me make my little loop survive the winter.
I've got a good feeling I'm going to be seeing you and Taz again in just a few months, so
Okay.
you take care of yourselves,
you
all
too,
right? Taz,
First
you...
name again?
Terry.
Terry. Okay.
I won't quiz you when I see you next.
No, but I'm just so bad with names.
You meet a lot of people too, so
Well, yeah. So the people I see the most are obviously the names I'm going to remember. So
I've never felt like a Terry. I've often thought about changing my name, but It wasn't me who named me, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, well, in respect
No.
to mom and dad, okay. You can
Yep.
call me Terry. You know.
Yeah, I've just never felt like a Terry. I've never felt like it fit me. But
Really? Well,
What do you
whoever
do?
you are, Terry.
you can call me. That was the saying. You can call me whatever you want, and I'll probably answer as long as it's nice.
Well, I always say as long as it's not late to dinner.
There you go.
You know. All
Take
right,
care,
Terry.
Richard. I really appreciate everything you've done to help.
Same here. Okay.